we'll wait and see if anybody else pops in here. But what what's going on in your business? Might as well just chat.
Yeah, actually nothing. I've done a lot of free stuff because I was a bonus on one of my mentors' special offerings that she was on a bunch of telesummits with.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have anything to really turn that into clients.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any services and offerings. So I still have them. I'm kind of keeping in touch, but I need to put that together fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel that my money is just, I need to get that just together and deal with it.
Well, it could be, hi, Nicole.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Cindy and I were just chatting away here. We'll just, if anybody else jumps on. Have you worked through some of the units, some of the modules?
I've done module 1, like the first 2 lessons in there, and I started the second one.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And how's it going?
It's good. I printed them and watched the videos and then didn't do that for a while. And I kept putting it off. And then I was like, I signed up for this to do it. I knew it was going to suck at some points.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Well, if you're facing resistance to doing the work, that is usually an indicator that you actually need to do the work. Right.
Yeah.
So it's something that you need. So,
I did it and it wasn't that bad.
Right. And the great thing is that you can keep doing it. Right. So this isn't kind of like a one and you're done kind of situation. Right. So as you move through this, it's like an onion layered kind of situation, right? Where you'll uncover more layers of the story, more layers of shame, more layers of forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
So these are kind of like foundational practices that you can use in all kinds of areas of your life, but they'll really help you.
Yeah. I had a funny situation yesterday. My car got hit in front of my house.
Oh.
Parked outside of my house on the street, which is the second time it's happened in a few months. And my boyfriend called me to tell me and whatever. And so I was like, we need to buy a house so that I can park my car and not on the street. And I was like, I need to do this course so that I can buy a house so that I can not park my car on the street.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, that's a really strange motivator, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, if owning a house is a goal, then take any motivation you can get.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So why don't we'll start with, Cindy is recovering from some spinal surgery. So she's just kind of popping on to be here. Mm-hmm. But let's dive into a little bit of your story.
Okay.
Because I thought you uncovered a lot in your story, right? Super great awareness around your dad's story and how you've carried that forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So do you have any questions about how to process that or anything that came up that you need talking through?
I don't know. It was really weird, writing it out, because I had started writing it out a few days before and then went back to it and added to it. And then as I sat down to post it, I had no idea that there was going to be that much stuff. And I wrote it out. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of things in there. That's a whole novel.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really eye-opening, I guess, to realize all that was in there and that I was functioning with that as a foundation. And this whole time going through all of these situations with money, thinking, oh, I suck at it. Why can't I manage things better? How come, my dad didn't teach me more? How come I suck at this? And all these stories, and not knowing why. And then starting to write that out, I was like, oh, well, now I can start to see why I have this habit of whatever with my money, and it connects back to this foundation. So it was kind of interesting to like create that awareness around it and see why some of those habits were showing up or where they came from, because I kind of just had no clue before.
Right. Yeah. And so that's like because in a way, right, like you have experienced scarcity, and so you kind of hoarded, right? Like, and then like, oh, well, I think I've got this idea, and so I can spend it all. And then, which is almost like a backlash to hoarding.
Yeah, it feels like being in the scarcity is comfortable because that's what I've always known. So sometimes it feels like I just need to get rid of the money because I don't know what to do with it. So if I just spend it, then I'm comfortable. I know what happens when I don't have money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so not knowing what's going to happen when you do have money is like your unknown factor, right?
Yeah. Or like there's this story that plays that like if I have money, then someone's going to take it or it's going to leave somehow. I don't know how, but I can't keep it because if I keep a bunch of it, then someone's going to take a bunch of it.
Yeah. And like you'll get attached to it. Right. And if you get attached to it, then you like attach emotion to it. And then if somebody takes it, because, you know, somebody's going to come along and take it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you'll be upset. And then that no one wants to be upset. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Mechanism, I guess.
Well, it's you. So this is your upper limit in regards to money. Right. Have you read The Big Leap?
No.
Okay. So that's a book that you should read. Okay. Because it talks about The Big Leap really focuses on, it explains how your nervous system is really comfortable in the familiar. So the familiar can be really awful, but you are still comfortable in it.
Yeah.
So your subconscious will create situations to put you back into that because it's comfortable there. Right? So your nervous system, even though like it gets used to being in that fight or flight or in that feast or famine cycle or in that feeling of, oh, there's never enough. Right? And it knows that. And so it's like it's saying, your subconscious saying, oh, I know this, even though this isn't like how I want to live or move forward, I still know this. It's familiar and it feels I can manage in here. Right. Whereas when we push through that and we move to a different level of awareness or a different level of consciousness or a way of interacting with money, we are in the unfamiliar. And your subconscious, your nervous system's reaction is to go, I don't like this. I don't know this feeling. And so get me out. Right. And that's where people like throw the money out, like, get away. Right. And even though they're saying like they can be doing all these affirmations where they're like, you know, I'm grateful and overflowing with abundance. I interact great with money, you know, like all these things they can be doing, but subconsciously within their nervous system, they are in uncomfortableness. Right. And so one of the ways of regulating your nervous system is to just uncover the story. Right. Because when we can regulate our nervous system, then there is no limit.
Yeah.
Right. So The Big Leap talks about that in very easy language. It's a foundational book that I recommend to so many people because it really explains it well. And when I read it, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And like this can apply to anything. It can apply to relationships. Like I notice it for me. I noticed it with money, but I notice it for me even now in relationships. Like it can be like me and my husband are getting along, and I will cause an argument, right? Because I'm used to being in argument mode.
Yeah.
Right? And it can't be nice and easy and fun. I have to I will pick a fight, right?
Yeah, because it has to be in conflict.
Yeah, right. And like it can apply to weight. Like you can lose weight and then, your body isn't comfortable there. You don't know how to live in this like, thinner body. And so you'll subconsciously gain weight back, right?
Yeah. So that book goes over like uncovering those things to
so it
learn
talks
how
about
to
kind of like the way your body reacts and moves through, and it explains like why your body does this stuff, right? And the way to regulate I don't think he uses that term. I don't think he uses the term regulate your nervous system, but that's what I've come to know, right?
Yep.
And so we do that by uncovering the stories that are running underneath. And this program talks really about money, but it is any story, right? It could be a story that you have in relationships or creating a business or whatever it is, right? Any story that is kind of like going on a circle in your subconscious that keeps you in a spot that is not reaching what you can identify as your goal, right?
Yeah.
When we uncover it, we can see it, we can change it, and we can do some forgiveness around it, right? So being aware that, okay, I didn't realize I carried this story forward, and so I'm going to forgive myself for that. Because one of the worst things you can do is like beat yourself up, right? Oh, now I know the story. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then you get it like, I'm an idiot. This is stupid. Right? And all that stuff. And so forgiveness that, you did this, and forgiveness can be like, like getting into credit card debt or, whatever. Right. And just no judgment around the forgiveness. Right. Like, it happened. Right. Like, okay. Like there's worse things in the world going on. Like, let's get everything into perspective, forgive without expectation of anything. And that can take some time, right? And then creating a new story. And that really is like when you go through this process and you create a new story and you start interacting with your money, and then you bring in things like meditation and visioning and essential oils and crystals and things like that, right? Then the whole thing starts to shift. Right. Then it becomes very different. And you become aware really fast when the story comes up. Right. And you can catch yourself.
Yeah. I feel like in the last year or so, like I've done so much digging into and work in like personal development in other areas. And so this is like, I'm recognizing it now that money is this one area that I'm like, okay, like I did all this work. How come these things are not happening? Like I can see them, they're right there, but I can't get them. But this is still one area that I just didn't pay attention to and didn't even realize that they all sew in together. So as soon as I saw the course, I'm like, well, okay, yeah, that obviously have to do it.
Yeah. And the great thing is like, once you kind of can figure out this step, like once you got the steps, you just keep doing it. Right?
Hi. Hey. Yes. Don't tell my boss on me that I'm talking to you. She'd be like, oh, good for you. I'm so excited for you, actually. Yes. Thanks. 2. Awesome. Thanks, Tasha. You're welcome.
So you've done the story work.
See you later. Pardon me?
You've done the story work.
Yeah.
And then you did, where did you get up to?
The money date.
Okay. Money date.
Yeah.
did you actually do a money date, or you did?
Yeah, I did.
How
It
did
was
that,
not that bad. It was not bad.
right?
Yeah. And it was perfect because I didn't know that's the module that I was going to be working on that day, but it was a day where like I was super chill at home. Like I'd been relaxing all day. I wasn't feeling like, oh, I have to do this in this time slot or anything. So when it came up, I was like, oh, well, like I'm not doing anything. Like it was so no pressure that it was easy. And my house was already set up. Like it was baked and I already had my like coffee.
Oh,
So I was like, oh,
good.
this is just meant to be. This is perfect.
Oh, that's good.
So, and I had done something similar like several months ago. And so doing it then really sucked. And so I did it like months and months ago and recognized some things that I wasn't happy with and started feeling like beating myself up. Like, why am I doing this? I should have seen this before. How come I'm letting this happen? And all these things with like money leaks and just frivolous spending and stuff. And so sitting down to do it this time, even though I haven't been diligent about keeping track or being engaged with it, I had a better idea of what to expect. So it wasn't as many like surprises and I wasn't so hard on myself.
Yeah.
Which was really great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really good. Right. And then doing that on a regular basis is what makes it easy.
Yeah.
Like super easy and a really positive experience. Right.
Yeah. Like going through the videos and stuff and going through the worksheets. At the end of it, I was still like excited to do it the next week. Like I went in right away, put it in my calendar. I was like, okay, like this is not that bad. This can be fun. It can be okay.
Oh, good. That's awesome. So we're going to offer a specific little intensive money date group where we focus on that, because what I've seen with clients is that they get incredible momentum out of that practice, right?
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the biggest tangible results when I was like testing this process out with clients and groups of people, right? Like I had Amy, who I think over the course of the year has found probably about $5,000.
That's
like
crazy.
It was crazy. And Cindy, who's going to help facilitate the group, she has created an even more robust money date where she brings in tarot and a whole bunch of stuff, right? And so it's really interesting how this can become a really important foundational piece.
Yeah.
You know, I am like a really firm believer that like this is part of the process, that, you know, we have to change our interaction with our money, and you can't just sit there and go, and it's all going to be awesome and never look at it. Right?
Yeah.
Like we can do this part and that contributes, absolutely. Right. But then if we don't even look at our bank account, we don't have
You're not going to wake up one morning and have $1 million in there because you like opened yourself up to it the night before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's great that you did it and it happened really organically and was a success. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to be like one of those people that would never, ever look at my bank account. Like the thought of opening up my bank app like gave me anxiety. And so like over the last several months, it's been being conscious about that and actually opening it and not doing like a money date, but just being able to open my bank account. I was like, okay, this is like a big win.
Right? It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. So did you get a little journal where you can do this work, or did you print out the PDF?
Yeah, I use the PDFs.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I needed the guidance.
Right?
Yep.
Well, and it's important, like you're going to start a business, right? Like, or you have, right? Like with your cooking?
It's coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the plan.
It should.
Yeah.
I was just at a meditation retreat in Sedona, and we had a private chef who did chakra meals.
Yeah, Elise and I just did a workshop on that. And so she taught like the oils and the crystals, and then I did all the food connecting to the chakras. And it was amazing. And it was like the biggest preparation or like biggest presentation that I had done with it. So it was really cool. It was really exciting. And it made me want to do more of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've been on my mind a lot for that, because I'm like, okay, so I need Michelle.
Yeah, like it's a really great niche for one.
Mm-hmm.
Like and the right people will pay for that service, right?
Yeah.
Not a cheap thing, obviously. So and not a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't get it, right?
Right.
So you can have private chefs, and you can have people who will, farm to table and all that jazz. But somebody who can create a menu based on chakra work, or customized to an event based on what the participants were going to be going through, event is
cool.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good.
So it will be in business.
You will be in business soon.
Yeah.
Michelle, even though I haven't gone through any of the modules or anything, am I allowed to bring up like any stories or?
Of course.
Anything
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What's
I don't need to do it now. I just wanted to. I didn't see the raised hand, so I just wanted to.
That's all right. What's your story that you say, Cindy?
Well, I have a few of them. I was writing notes as Nicole was talking, because it really jogged a bunch of stuff, especially that book with the nerve, because
right,
part of my illnesses are nerve related. So it just
right.
bing. So real briefly, I was always taught, I think I said this in part of my talk with you, that to be successful, you have to work and make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my belief growing up. And that's what I did. And so I did that, and I became a top executive in investment banking, blah, blah, blah. And about 8 months into that, that's when I had the incident that took me out of work and put me on disability, and where I physically can't work, and why I have the spinal stuff and what have you.
Yeah.
But through that, it actually put me on the path I'm supposed to be on. So it's a huge blessing, and I'm actually very thankful that it did happen.
Right.
Put me on my true path. And the whole thing with the back right now that I've been dealing with, and found out last August that now I need surgery and all that kind of stuff in the next few weeks. Like, the back equals my structure. So my whole structure of my, everything, my whole life is coming apart and needs to be put back together.
Okay.
And a lot of that has to do with my finances. I know that's a big thing about it.
Okay.
So one of my biggest fears that I need to work through in my stories is that I'm on disability, workman's comp, and Social Security, but I have to be careful with my business because, I can only make a certain amount, and I'm afraid of being found out because, even though I can prove that, yeah, I'm only making this much money and I'm allowed to work, it's still, I have to go to court. It's a whole big thing. So there's a lot of fear into visibility, which is why that center stage was such a huge step for me to even put myself out there.
Right.
So there's a lot of that. So it's the structure, it's the beliefs, it's now putting myself out there and working through the fear. Because I started working through the fear 2 years or a couple years ago, of doing kind of like the money date and really knowing where my money is and canceling stuff. And like, I don't need that. And, doing it with intention, like writing my intentions down and then seeing what comes, and then feeling into whether or not I should, buy that instead of the shiny object syndrome.
All right.
The money stuff.
Do you believe in tarot?
Yes. I love tarot. I'm really into, I do crystal readings, I do tarot readings, I do essential oils. So yeah, so that's the path. So I went from investment banking to that, which is my true path.
Okay, so I just did a little quick 3-card reading here. So your past, like where you have been, is inverted King of Pentacles. So I don't know if you can see him.
Money.
It is money. It's results. The king is mastery. It's inverted though, so you were resisting it somehow. It sounds like you were. And he's like, he's covered in all these vines and everything, and it's pretty secure and solid. Which sounds like where you were, right? Was pretty secure and solid. It was established. And you obviously had you had resistance to that. And that's obviously taken you to the place you are now. Okay, so where are you now? This is a really good card for you.
Yes, it is.
Right? So the death card is like, it's over, like now. Right?
It's done.
And so what I want you to be aware of is not staying in that story of I am working through this, or this is happening to me and it's going to take this long time, and there's all this stuff going on. It's actually like, it's death, it's over, right? Good. So you need to be aware. What I would urge you to do, and this isn't just about money for you, Cindy, but I really would urge you to do some journaling around where you hear yourself recreating the story of what's happened and how you're carrying that forward into what's going on for you right now. Right? Because I get a feeling of justification, like you feel like you need to explain and justify where you are now. And I don't think you need to do that. You are where you are. The past is over. You're moving forward.
Yeah, that's where I fall, and that's what I wrote down, that I'm like, I feel like I either need to explain myself, like with my spinal thing with you, how we started, or I overcompensate and don't tell anybody and what have you, and then regardless, it takes me out.
Yeah.
Where I can't do anything, and I does it physically, and I also self-sabotage myself when I am doing well.
Right. And how do you move forward is actually the 4 of Swords.
Ooh.
So this card is, I don't know if you know this card, but the 4 is around foundation. And like you can see him, it's about deep rest, right? And like the Swords is your mind, it's your mindset, it's your thoughts. And it's like, for you to move forward, you've got to put these thoughts to rest and just be, and not have to explain and justify and get caught up in recreating the story all the time.
Yeah, because that was my identity. Like I don't know how to be. I'm like a fish out of water.
Well, you can see, like, he's sleeping, right? Like, he's sleeping very peacefully. And it might be a time of rest. This is not an action card, right? This is a restful place to be, mind and body. So now, like, to move forward, you just need to be where you are. Yeah.
I get that, like, because I saw my doctor yesterday, obviously, and he was like, oh, we need to do this. It's way worse. Like, he's bumping up the surgery, like, within the next few weeks. And I was like, okay. So that's that. So what's the deal with that card, though? One question. Like, it's the 4 of Swords, but what's that one that's under him? Like, there's 3 above him, and why is there one up?
So it's just the foundation, right? Like 4 is a foundation number. And it's like there's a foundation of mindset that you need to relax into and rest into and let it seep in, and use this time to nurture and replenish yourself.
Okay.
So
really
reading The Big Leap would be a really good choice right now.
Is that the book you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, The Big Leap. Yes.
I think Emily's read The Big Leap. Haven't you, Emily?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
got off my massage table.
You're like,
yeah. Yeah, it's an awesome book. I've also listened to the audio version a couple times.
Oh, I like audio. Okay.
Yeah, and the audiobook's pretty good too. Read by the author, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, good. It's not that weird voice person.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, thank you for that.
Good job.
Oh, thank you, and Emily, Nicole. Both of you Emily, you just helped me, just got on here. Nicole, thank you for sharing, because I got so much out of what you shared, so thank you. And thank you, of course, Michelle.
You're welcome, of course. I'm happy to share, and I'm happy to hear your side too, because it's always good to like collaborate with people and not be the only one.
And that's part of this course, right? You guys aren't the only ones going through this, right? And so you have a community where you can like really don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Or share, or be like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. Like, right.
May I ask real quickly, how long is this course going to? Because I'm just now jumping in.
The module kind of like week by week is 7 weeks, but people are doing it at all different rates, and you guys have lifetime access to it. So I suggest you do it in a 7-week concerted effort, right? So that because each module builds on the previous, but after that you can jump all over the place and you'll come back to things.
Okay, good. I just wanted to know how long we had this group right now with you. So,
7 weeks, like the middle of April, but I feel like we were, I don't know, my coach was like, after that you close it and they get kicked out. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. I like them. I want them to stay in it.
Thank you. It's different. The energy, the people that do that, you can tell the difference in energy that are like Chantel, like same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Emily, where are you in the modules?
I'm just about to do the forgiveness.
Oh, good.
Which I did one when we did the money blueprint.
Yeah.
That sort of preview thing you did. So I've kind of sort of done it already. But it's a bit different now that I've gone sort of, deeper, that kind of thing. So just trying to I don't know, maybe be like, how's the perfect way to do it? Anyway,
the perfect way to do it?
I think it's the Catholic background, being like forgiveness, and it's important to get it right. I don't know. But anyhow, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out what to say. I think it's a long.
You get forgiveness wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Right? And so okay, so hang on, let me find that. Okay.
That's huge for me too.
So this is forgiveness around money.
Yeah.
Specifically, right? So sometimes we can get caught up in a story of victim.
Right.
So one of the things to be aware of is not being like, oh, I've got to forgive this person for doing this thing to me, right? Like Nicole could easily have done, I got to forgive my dad because he was a jerk with money, right? What I want you to focus on is I have to forgive myself for allowing myself to carry this story forward, right? I have to forgive myself for inadvertently, unconsciously carrying this story.
Yeah.
Right? Sure, you may want to forgive some people, Absolutely. People don't need to be alive for you to forgive them. They don't even need to know, right? I do a lot of forgiveness and I burn the letters and stuff like that, right? I don't tell people. Sometimes like I'll forgive, like I got to forgive my friend because she was a bitch and she doesn't even know, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll burn it, kind of thing. So it's sometimes it's me and how I have kind of interpreted the situation, right?
For me, it's
So,
easy. Yeah. For me, it's easy.
Acknowledging that you have created this situation in your life around money and that you're going to forgive yourself for that and taking responsibility for any mistakes you've made, and just that you've been perhaps walking through life a little bit unaware of how you have created a relationship with money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then forgive me. So that's, I'm sorry. And then forgive me. Like you're just asking yourself to, like forgive yourself because you didn't know any better. Right? So no one told you this stuff before. No one educated you on this. You didn't know any better. So like, don't beat yourself up, basically. Right? And then thank you. So thank you basically releases and cleanses the memory. So thank you for this awareness. Thank you for a new way forward. Thank you for like opening this door to abundance, opening this door to a new relationship with money. Like, thank you for like bringing this information into my life. Right. And then I love you is the important part. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people, me included, have had problems saying I love you to yourself. Right. So looking yourself in the mirror and saying I love you can be difficult. And so just be gentle with yourself that it doesn't have to like click right away. Right. And it's funny, I posted that that YouTube video where he talked, Rock, I think his name's Rock Nelson, and he talks about the I am statement. What follows I am follows you in your life, right? And in it, he talks about a process of saying I am, for him, I think he said, I am the most amazing real estate agent in the world, or something like that, right? And when I first tried to do that, I couldn't even come up with an I am statement. Okay. I was like, I am awesome. Yeah. Right? It's like, what am I? Like, because it's what do you want to be? Right? Yeah. And kind of calling in that energy around that statement. So don't be too harsh on yourself if it takes you a while to be able to say, I love you to yourself, right?
Yeah, that's one that's like,
right? Okay, sure. Yeah. Did you have any questions?
No, it's going good. I think once I get that done, that'll be good. It would even like when we did in the money blueprint, that was good too. And it's all just kind of like things that I didn't, because I don't really have much money family stuff. So my story was like, it wasn't so much, oh, this about money, that about money, but I was like, oh, well, I was told if I wanted to have a cat, I would have to keep my room clean for 3 months, and I did it. And then my big sister's boyfriend wanted to give her a cat, so my mom was like, oh, well, Jen can have a cat, and Emily can be your cat too, because you kept your room clean. And like, to me, that was like, that has kind of somehow turned into like, you won't get the things you work for. Like somebody else will come and take it away. And so like, even though that's not really about money, because I don't really have much in growing up to kind of pull back on, there's a lot of like working and the rewards you get for it. Experiences that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see now where that came from, why I feel that way. So really
School has that too, right?
Yeah. So really interesting.
The whole thing about somebody's going to take it away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So very, very, very interesting. And then the sort of thing I posted about on the group, like that I'm like, oh, like I'm not good enough for sort of at what I do, which is weird because like I'm good at a lot of things actually, and I'm always afraid that I'm not good at them. So, but I know that I know that I am, but you know, there's something where there's just this thing in my head where, yeah, you're good at it, but are you good enough at it to like make a living at that? So yeah,
right.
And it's like, well, actually I'm doing that right now. So fuck you, brain. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, which is very interesting. So yeah, just so cool the way that it's structured to get you to think about those things that like, when else would I get to think about that stuff? Like, obviously I've never had sort of any cause to, so it's really cool to be able to think about that stuff, and also in a productive way, not in a way that's just like, oh, this is some, you know, shitty stuff that happened to me, so boo. You know, it's like, okay, how has that, yeah, so it's very interesting to be looking at everything that way. So yeah, it's been kind of cool. Yeah.
What did Cindy said, what do you recommend for dealing with someone's going to take it away? Because I have that also. A lot of people have that. What do I recommend? Well, first you got to figure out why, right? Did actually someone take it away from you in the past, or was that something you were told, right? Some people have been told by, you know, parents or grandparents who have actually had things taken away, that happens, right? It's funny, I had a client whose grandmother was in World War II and was lived in Germany and was Jewish. And so she actually had everything taken away. And she put that onto her daughter, who put it onto her daughter. That at some point, somebody is going to come and take something away, so you have to hide it. And if you're hiding things, then you are like, it's like you're shielding yourself, right? And it's like, if I hide it, I'm not thinking about it, and it's over there, and like we don't consciously interact with it. So actually it doesn't exist, right? Because you'd have to act as if it's not there, right? So what do I recommend for dealing with that?
I didn't know if you had any tools or anything.
Yeah, it really is figuring out why that is a thing. Like, I think that Nicole has uncovered a little bit about why that has come up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like for me, it was, I had been told, so my parents had separated, and I had been told that as a kid, my dad put money into like a savings account for me, and that my mom drained the savings account, which I was like 8 years old, so I didn't get money. I didn't know anything about it. It really made no difference to me, but I had been told that it will be taken away from you. And then like I would experience that with like being, you know, a teenager and having my first job or whatever, or making money in different ways. And people like my dad would want to take it, borrow it, and pay it back, and it wouldn't happen. So then I experienced it that way too.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, so forgiveness is going to be key in that process, right?
So if you don't have money, then nobody can take it from you. And I think that's where I ended up going. I was like, well, I can't say no when my dad asks me for money, because I had that feeling of, you know, I'm his daughter and he provides for me, and it should be a two-way relationship, which is really unhealthy for a child on a whole different level. But if I didn't have the ability to say no, but if I didn't actually have the money to give, then I had no choice but to say no. And then I couldn't have it taken away.
Yeah. Awareness, forgiveness, and then creating a new story about it.
Yeah.
Right? Which you kind of get to in the next modules.
Mm-hmm.
So do tarot cards freak you out, Emily? Being Catholic?
No. Not Catholic anymore. It didn't take much. Whatever. Sort of did it growing up as a kid and tried really hard to like believe and feel the things everyone else around me seemed to be feeling that I wasn't feeling. And when I went away to college, I was just like, this is dumb. Yeah, and it was pretty easy. My whole family, like everybody in my family, all my brothers and sisters, they're all still like practicing Catholics. And whenever I'm like on vacation and they go to church and stuff, usually I go to church with them. Mostly because it just makes my mom real happy. Like I go and she's like, I'm so glad you're here. And I'm like, yes. So, and it's like a real important part of their lives. And I see how much it means to them. It just doesn't really mean that to me. And, but there's like a lot of things that the way you're raised when you're Catholic, like forgiveness, for example, like you can't forgive yourself as a Catholic. That's not a thing that you can do. Like, it's just not possible. You have to go to a priest and you have to tell him all the bad things you did. And then he can ask God. And then God will tell him whether or not, you're forgiven. And what you have to now go do to become forgiven. It's like this whole forgiveness is this whole crazy ritual, right? So the idea of forgiving myself, I think that's maybe why I'm having a bit of trouble with it. Because my brain is just like, you can't, that's not a thing that you do. Yeah. So yeah, and I think just kind of realizing that right now, I'm like, okay, well, and a lot of the time when you know why you're doing something, it's easy to stop doing it. Easier or to like change. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's I joke with my best friend a lot. We're both raised Catholic and now we're not Catholic. And we're like, oh, the Catholic guilt. Right? I feel like you are responsible for all of the things.
So I pulled a couple cards for you guys as a group.
Michelle, may I ask, are you recording this, I hope?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. What have we got here? So just as a group going through this process, where are you? How did you come into this? What was the state that you came in? Which is the Tower, which is pretty appropriate. Like people are jumping out of the windows on fire, right? Like, the Tower is a great card because it means that things are coming to an end pretty fast, right? It's crumbling, but it's not a long drawn out process. So that's a good thing, right? And I always look at these people because like they look scared, right? Like, can you see them? They look a little bit crazy. Yeah. So that you guys have come in, I kind of take this as you guys have come in a little bit of a desperation. Oh my God, I recognize that things can change and they are changing and I need to do something. I may need to jump out of the window to get out of this situation, right? And where are you now that you've started the program? Which is the King of Wands, right? So wands being an action symbol, right? So wands stand for action, for actually like doing things. And it's the Knight. It's the Knight. So the Knight is a card of like message, right? And wands being action. So you're taking action in whatever messages you're getting, which is what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're taking into consideration what's going on and you're putting it into place and you're doing all the things and you're not like sitting there passively. Like this is not a passive card. Like the horse is moving. Like he's not the Knight of Swords where he's like got his sword out and he's like, we're going forward. He's like, yeah, we're moving through this, right? Like, and the great thing is, where are you going to end up? A new way forward. Right? The end of a pattern, a new way forward, a new relationship. So that's fantastic. That's like, in some people, like in a different situation, this reading, I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Like the tower and death is pretty strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that you guys are doing the things to change the situation. So it's actually really good reading.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that you incorporate tarot. That's so great. So excited.
Well, it adds a little bit of fun. Did you guys get your questionnaire?
Yeah.
Did it ask you your birthday? I
Yes.
don't think.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
But I got it, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of time. Okay, let's start with Emily. What's your birthday?
May 7th.
May 7th. May
Yeah.
7th. What year?
1982.
5. So your birth year is a 5. It's like your kind of primary number, which is the Hierophant, which is all about being a teacher and a guide for others.
Huh. Yep.
Yeah?
Huh. Yeah, I do that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, actually you do. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you do. So others come to know you for guidance and support, and you share your wisdom without judgment or expectation. You're curious about life and enjoy philosophy, science, and theology. You seek greater meaning in life and always have a unique perspective based on a wealth of knowledge that you collect about any one subject. And you are like the girl of random information, right? Like you always know these random things. You connect well with the public, but need time to recharge on your own. You walk your talk and not afraid to get your hands dirty. You do not preach your message to the world. You walk with the world and model your awareness through your words and actions. So you're a thinker and a collector of knowledge. You may become competitive with others who may know more about a subject. Is that true?
Yeah.
Causing you to push yourself even harder. Your ambition sometimes takes you off the path and away from your purpose. Observing your motivations is a powerful practice to keep you in alignment.
Yeah.
So always asking, like, what's my motivation for doing this? Okay, so because you're such an intellectual personality type, you are sometimes tempted to exaggerate your knowledge to protect your ego. Your intellectual superiority can get you into trouble when you agree to things without fully understanding the implications. You often measure your value in what you know. And it might not be what you know that makes you successful or gives you money, right? You can create a pattern of feeling abandoned by others, but it's often because you unconsciously push them away. But people feel drawn to you for your wisdom. They want to hear what you have to say, even when you don't fully trust yourself. You can be rigid with your ideas at times, but this is because you crave authenticity and truth. You do not want to misinform or misguide anyone. Your truth-seeking makes you an incredible leader, especially in academic or spiritual situations. You make it easy for others to learn. People feel safe with you. You can use this to your advantage. So your mantra is, when I transform knowledge into a higher calling and commit to sharing it with others, I will experience true freedom. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Does that fit at all?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. I don't know that I would think of myself as that intellectual, but like I do. I mean,
oh, I do.
As I started trying in school, I got really good marks. Yeah. So like my first marriage, I went through this. Anyway, he didn't think I was smart, and then I didn't think I was smart, and that went on for years. And then like at one point, someone was like, "Why are you acting like you're not as smart as you are?" And I was just kind of like, I had just bought into his vision of who I was, and it was just kind of like, no, actually I'm a really smart person. So So yeah, that's something about myself that I know I'm smart. I don't really like, I don't know. It's
Lean
not,
into that. It could be your like your secret weapon.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. So, because I'm like, I do a lot of like artistic things, like no matter all the random things I do in my life, it's like there's a lot of creative expression in the things that I do, whether it's like acting or making costumes or staging houses. Like,
But even like it doesn't have to be like science smart or whatever, right? Like look at what you did with your spreadsheets and your like all that like business stuff, and like the way you like figured out like the inventory system for the staging business, and the like even like how to do the wigs for the princess, like that's smart.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as like I see a problem and I fix it. You know?
Problem solver.
I'm very, very good at being like, oh, something is messed up. I will find a way to untangle it. So yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. And
Good job.
Teacher thing too. Like I still am teaching on Fridays. I won't be doing that I won't be doing it in September anymore, which is sad, but I gotta, make room.
Yeah.
So it like hurts a little because I got like these 5-year-olds that I'm teaching singing to right now, and they're so freaking cute. But anyway, but even when I'm like directing a show, or if I'm like staging a house, or like I've got like my princesses that are coming in and they're going and doing parties and stuff, like I'm always like teaching people stuff. So
your life sounds really interesting.
I know, right? It is.
It's pretty interesting. I'm trying to cut it down to just like 2 things right now. It's just like holding up 4 fingers. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Nicole, what's your birthday?
February 12th, 1991.
Ooh, a 7. My God. You guys are giving me numbers I don't know.
You're like,
I'm really good at 1 to 4. Oh my God. Oh, the Chariot. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. The Chariot archetype is someone who craves freedom and mobility. You love to be in motion, but often feel stuck in indecision. You feel driven by a craving for independence. I think that's true for sure. Mm-hmm. However, you don't like to take any actions that may create instability. Indecision can leave you caught between 2 worlds more than not. You like to take calculated risks, yet you often find yourself suffering the consequence of both action and inaction when you overthink. You may appear to be always deciding on something. Do I stay or do I go? Do I say yes or do I no? No.
What? No, not at all. Don't ever do that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sometimes the weight of these decisions can create mental anxieties. You become so obsessed with deciding on your next steps and figuring out what to focus on that you often forget to take action at all. You can tend to isolate yourself and prefer not to share private details. You have a few close connections and enjoy people. However, you often feel disappointed by friends and family who do not understand your intense need for freedom. You can feel lonely at times and certainly know the feeling of being alone at the top. You sense you are meant for success, recognition, and achievement and will reach for it until you get there. Why don't others get that? Your spiritual connection is your primary source of support and guidance. That's good to know. Trust your intuition through practice, making decisions based on your hunches. You will find that your life begins to take on a karmic quality. You will feel more peace, ease, and flow in allowing your focus to come through you instead of from you. Taking action is your greatest gift as the Chariot. When you are in motion, you make the best decisions and you learn the fastest. That's good. And like the money date where you were like, oh, I could just do this right now. Right? Like, yeah, that's awesome. So challenges, your purpose is to embrace a higher calling and let spirit lead you. Consciously taking action based on your intuition will help you to break through indecision. Your craving for independence and freedom can be fulfilled when you recognize your spiritual connection and embrace the awareness that you are never alone on your path. That's so good. Chariot is a natural leader. You're confident and full of life with the heart of an emperor and the faith of the fool. You can handle multiple ideas and energies at once as long as you feel aligned with your vision. You have the ability to focus, but this must develop through trust. You can lead others with little attachment to the outcome and have the capacity to change the course with ease. It's awesome. Your higher purpose mantra is trusting myself and leading from my intuition clears the path for my highest potential. How does that feel?
Yeah, on.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. Do you have tarot cards?
No, I don't right now.
Okay. So
but I used to play with them a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah. So if you do get tarot cards, you could you can meditate on your card. So you pull up the Chariot. Yours was the Hierophant, Emily. What's your birthday, Cindy?
August 2nd, 1971.
Oh, 10. Oh, you're a 1. Wow.
Yes.
The
and I love numerology too.
What?
I love numerology as well.
So the Magician.
Yes.
The 1 is a pretty powerful card and number. And nobody has a 1, but your numbers add up to a 10, and so you have the influence of the 1, right? So you get all the beneficial energies of the 1 like straight into you, right? So you believe that things will work out somehow. Even in the most challenging of times, there's a sense within you that lets you know there is a solution. You're intuitive to most things you do and have a talent of finding new, innovative ways of completing a task or challenge. You enjoy problem solving. You can feel inspired by new ideas on a regular basis, which can make it challenging to commit to one path, which I think is pretty true for you, Cindy. When you do commit, you can tend to feel bored quickly. You may feel burdened by others who take advantage of your natural magical talents. You may or may not believe in a higher power. You feel drawn to scientific information and a way of understanding how things work. You enjoy starting new projects. And your challenge can be embracing new opportunities in life and seeing them through to completion. So I see that in you for sure. And you have a powerful ability to create anything you want in the physical world, but you have to apply this power to your passions. And then you will always be a leader. So your higher purpose mantra is, when I claim my inner power, everything I want falls into place. Sounds like an awesome one.
Yeah, totally fits. Absolutely.
Yay. Perfect. Hi, Aleka. Is it Aleka? Alika? Unmute yourself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Alexa. My
Alexa.
name is Alexa. Yes.
Awesome. Well, we were just getting ready to sign off, but you're here now. So
very, very happy.
Right?
To stay here. Yes, yes.
So if anybody needs to go, because it's been an hour, you can definitely jump off if you want. Otherwise, I will chat with Alexa and see. Do you have any questions right now?
Until now, I work. Today, I work in Money Date, and I'm very proud of me. Yeah. Because it's my first time that I make this work completely.
That's so good.
Yes. It's wonderful.
Nicole did a Money Date as well.
Yes, it's great. But I see I don't receive money in the last 10 days, and I see those numbers, I feel anxiety, fear, frustration, but always I see that I need attention in my money, and I understand a little bit that okay, I need take attention constantly in my money.
Yeah. So I was talking to Nicole about this. When we ignore it, right, a lot of things can happen and can like waterfall on what happens in our with our money, right? And when we don't create this feeling, like this good feeling around interacting with it, with checking your balances and looking at what's coming in and out, it's like we're not participating and we're being really passive, right? So by making a money date like a weekly thing, a weekly date that you enjoy and look forward to, creates a whole new vibration, a whole new energy around your interaction with money. And that carries out into the world, right? And then hopefully we find some things that may have been not great, right? Like leaks of money, or, you know, people, we realize somebody owes us money that they haven't paid, or, you know, something like that, right?
I notice that when I pay, I feel fear that I don't have any more money. Never in my life. So I practice tapping. Okay, I not have more money, but I identify that it's I don't remember the word shrink. No, gatillar. Okay, I don't remember word in English. That's because okay. My first language is Spanish. Okay, that I feel that in this moment fear. So it's big that like never more in my life.
Right.
I give more money. Yes.
Right. Scarcity, right?
It's great. It's big, not right, big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's really good awareness, right? Because you don't want that feeling, right? You want to get to a place of gratitude for money going out and coming in. A lot of people talk about gratitude for money coming in. Yes. And that's pretty easy to do, right? Like we can all say, yay, I'm so grateful for this money that's coming into my bank account. It can be more difficult to be grateful for the money that is leaving our bank account if we truly don't believe that there's going to be more, right? But if you knew that there was going to be more, it wouldn't matter, right? So it's around changing your mindset that of course there's more, right? Of course there is more that is coming to you because you are living this abundant life where money is limitless, right? And it's our thinking of the situation that puts us into suffering, that puts us into anxiety. It's not actually the situation, right? So one of the things I say to clients a lot is that you are the thinker of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. And you have the ability at any time to make a new decision, to change your thoughts. So if you are saying, oh, I feel anxious about my bank balance. There's not enough money in there. I don't know where the next paycheck's going to come from. Oh my God, this feels awful. Those are your thoughts about the situation. Somebody else could look at your bank balance and think, that's amazing. I love this money that's sitting there, right? And so recognizing that you are creating this anxiety, you are creating this suffering state, and catching yourself and deciding, I'm going to make a new decision now about that. And so I'm going to, just like you did, tapping, right? I'm going to calm my nervous system, and I'm going to move forward with a new decision. So that if ever you find yourself in like an anxious situation in regards to anything, just pausing and saying, I am the thinker of my thoughts, I am not my thoughts, helps immensely, right? And that's where we can navigate our way through fear, right? And move into a completely different mindset.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Does anybody else have any questions?
When you were reading about our whatever you were reading about our number, what were you reading from?
It's a tarot numerology archetype book.
Ooh.
It's by Joy Kingsborough.
I'm sorry, by who?
Joy Kingsborough.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great book. A valuable resource.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And it combines tarot and numerology.
I have questions about the date money. This date, it's useful, inclusive in a month, a year, for a vision general for every trimester, quarter.
I would do it weekly.
Weekly, yes, but in a month, same? It's same?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I suggest weekly money dates, and then like kind of like a monthly review.
Yes.
Right. So that you're looking at the previous month and saying, okay, how did that month roll out? Right? What happened there? And I think that you guys get a PDF of that. Check and see. I think you get a PDF with the monthly. The monthly summary. I will check. And if you don't, I'll post it in the group. I call it a monthly wrap-up. And in the monthly wrap-up, we look at what are you most proud of achieving? What did you remain in alignment with? And what milestones did you bust through? And which ones need to be adjusted? How did you reward yourself this month? Where did you drop the ball? And how can you prevent it from happening in the future? And how do you feel about the month overall? And that's a really good journaling exercise to change your awareness of things, right? Your awareness of your interaction. And you'll notice that if you do a weekly money date, and you will start to build momentum, and you'll see a shift. And because you're doing it every week, and then you're doing a monthly summary, like a reflection, you'll see your mindset change. This is why I recommend like a separate journal for your money date.
Oh.
It's really useful. So I have a journal you can buy on Amazon if you want, but you can just use a normal. Oh, like you, Emily has it.
I've had it for like months. And I
right?
Yeah, I finally did one.
Yeah, or you just use a normal journal. Like this journal I created because I just used a journal. Like I have a gazillion journals, but I used a journal that was just for money. And my friend was like, you need to make that into a thing so that other people can do it. Right. So it's really useful. But basically you guys have the PDF of this. So if you wanted to just print them out and put them in a binder, you could.
We have this PDF.
Yeah.
And in what place? Where place?
It should be attached to the money date module.
Okay.
Is it attached to the money date module, Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay. I see that. I don't see it.
Go back in there and have a look, and if you still can't find it, we can help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the one on Amazon, does that ask all those questions you were just referring to?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, the one on Amazon, it stands alone, so it gives you a how to do a money date introduction, and then it goes right into the money date pages, and it has a monthly reflection and a quarterly kind of wrap up summary thing, and it's 52 weeks.
Oh, good. So is it dated or no?
No, it's not dated.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. I want to get that.
You can start anytime you want.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been fabulous. I'm so excited. I can't wait to start. Yay. Just what I needed.
Gotta catch up, Cindy.
I am. You'll see me. Woo! I'm going to fly.
It's not too late. Well, if you've got like surgery scheduled and stuff, you'll have time when you're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, but I'm still, like, this was my week to get situated, and then there was the call, and I was like, oh, perfect. And then getting to meet everybody and connect, this is just my great way starting out. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Good. And where do you live, Alexa?
In Argentina, Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Awesome. That's great.
Cool.
Where are you, Cindy?
I'm currently in Pennsylvania, but I am on my way to Maui.
Oh.
I did that
Maui
out.
To live?
Yeah, I went on a retreat in February of, I think, 13, and I knew I was going to move there as soon as I got off the plane. And so I've been waiting for it to happen, and now I know why stuff had to happen first, but my goal, I know it's going to happen by the end of this year, so that's another reason why this course is perfect.
Well, now we have a place to visit in Argentina and Maui, everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And where are you, Emily?
I'm in Chilliwack, which is in Canada. I'm probably 15 minutes away from Michelle.
Yeah. And where are you, Nicole?
In Abbotsford, like 30 minutes away from Michelle and Emily.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All these Canadians, it's just amazing. This past year, they just all came out of the woodworks. It's like everyone's Canadian. I love it.
We've been Canadian all along.
Right?
It's all those
awesome.
Ryans, those famous Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling.
It's all the Ryans.
Yeah, all the Ryans.
All the Ryans. That's awesome.
So cool. Wow.
All
Thank you.
right.
Yeah, Michelle, you really drew a great group. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's a really good group of people. And you guys seem supportive of each other, and stay in this group together. So we've got another call in 2 weeks, and we can connect again. And I just really encourage you that if you are stuck somewhere in the course, reach out in the group, because even if you're like, I don't know what to do, we can always jump on a Zoom call or something, right? Like, I seriously don't mind just, jumping in there and dealing with some stuff, or, whatever needs to happen. Or use the group to ask questions, to connect with each other, and to work through things together. Peer support is really important through this process. You're not alone. And you can learn a lot from each other. So, yeah. So I am going to stop the call now and post the recording in the group. So you can, Alexa, you can go back and listen to the call, like the beginning part before you were here if you want.
Okay.
Nicole and Cindy and Emily all went through a little bit of their story, some forgiveness challenges, that kind of thing. So might be useful. And again, if you need help, reach out for it, or even like share your celebration. I did a money date. Yay! Right?
Right.
Yeah.
We are going to offer a kind of like a money date group if you want to do that, to kind of be accountable to that practice. So we're putting together a little bonus for you guys, little kind of Zoom masterclass thing, which can lead into, I think we decided it was 3 months, or maybe it was 2 months. And it was long enough for it to become a habit, right? So and it's not expensive, or I don't even know if we're charging for it, but if we are, it's not expensive. But it really is, it might be something that would be a good thing for you guys to do if you want to make this a really important part of your practice, right?
For sure. Does it start within the course or after?
Within the course, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll come out any minute now.
Yeah, I'm a yes.
You'll get the information any minute now, by email or something.
Okay.
Okay.
The technology
Yay, thank
person.
you.
I don't set that stuff up. So yeah, so that's going to happen.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Everyone, bye.